Here we go. Excellent. So welcome to this session, this lesson. Um, I'm here to talk about what's the topic today? I think it's about letting go, right? So what does that even mean when we move into the space of letting go? It's such an interesting conversation when we come into the space mindfully to talk about letting go. In a sound bath session, sometimes when I'm doing a coaching session with a client and doing a private session, we can talk a lot about how the vibration allows us to let go of trapped emotions or unwanted thoughts or let go of the stress and the anxiety that we're carrying. But sometimes just that word, the phrase is just like, let it go, can sometimes cause us even some angst and anxiety when it comes into how do we define letting go or what do we do with that. So when we talk about letting go, it's important for us as teachers, as coaches, as I don't know, people going through their own life, recognizing how difficult it is to understand what it even means to let go when it says to let go of the past. Can I truly let go of the past? Because you know what? I want to carry the past into the present to continue to carry those lessons forward with me. But then if I start talking to a coach about that, they say, well, remember the good things, but let go of the things that you want to let go of. And like, well, those things that I see are bad are lessons that I should carry forward because I learned from them. But what really is important is to let go of the things that keep us stuck. When we're talking about letting go of our emotions, is it really that simple? No, obviously not. But when we use something like vibration or sound to get into that space of allowing the emotions to be, so sometimes letting go should be defined more of allowing, maybe, because when we allow something to be, then we can move through it. And so it's been a conversation I've been having with Sam, our director of mindfulness from England, and we had this conversation not too long ago when we were talking about the pillars of mindfulness and how one of those pillars should be allowing. Now, does allowing fit in after awareness and acceptance, or does allowing fit in after acceptance? If we've gone into that space where we become aware of something, do we need to allow it to be before we accept it? Or do we become aware of it and accept it and then allow it to be and then take action from there? I don't know. In truth, I believe letting go should move into this space where we practice something, where we have the ability to do something with whatever comes up. To let go, we can understand that we can just about let go of anything that doesn't serve us if we have a practice that allows us to let go. And one of the most important practices I've found in the practice of letting go is meditation. To let go of everything that doesn't serve us and surrender to the things that are there, to surrender to the fact that we're emotional beings, or to surrender to the fact that I can't change the politics of the world today, or to surrender to something that I can't change is an important part of our practice. But again, that makes it difficult because then is it saying it is what it is and I just surrender and I'm not going to do anything with that? So letting go isn't an easy concept, but we can focus on letting go when we see it from an energetic perspective, that these trapped emotions are simply energy that are being stored inside of us. Those thoughts that keep coming up over and over and over again are the energetic signals of our mind that keep triggering us to go down this path over and over and over again. And when we understand that we can't eliminate energy, but we can transform it, it moves us into the space where we have the ability to shift, to change. So when we go into looking at letting go, we can see that it brings us into a space where we can take action, and it moves us out of that space of being stuck. Because if we don't let go of something, then we're going to just keep hitting that wall that keeps blocking us from moving forward. And when we start doing something, it empowers us to do the work. And that's one of the things that meditation allows us to do. So when we focus on the words letting go, it's not as simple as the words are. And we say, just let go, just let it go, or just let it be. Well, that doesn't work in most situations. But all around the world, in all the practices that we can see, whether again it's sound or meditation, when we allow things to be, then we can see things from a more truthful perspective because we get so caught up in the action or the deed or the hurt or the pain that we can't see around it to find a solution. So when we can stop overthinking about it, perhaps it triggers the mind to go from that fight or flight response that we have when somebody offends us or hurts us or does something that we disagree with and we get all puffed up. When we let go of that puffiness, it allows us to connect to the creative parts of our being. When we stop blocking that energy, it allows us to see an improvement. When we let go of stress and fear and negative emotions and stop defining our emotions always as negative or positive, but just to see them as emotions, then I don't get so caught up in the anger. I don't identify myself by that anger. Instead of saying, I am angry, I say, wow, that makes me feel angry. And then I can start exploring why, instead of being in that stuck where it says, I'm angry and I'm going to stay angry until you do something different or until the world changes. But when we start practicing letting go, when we start leaning into how we can let go of this unwanted thought that keeps coming up, but not letting it go without doing something with it, because I believe if a thought keeps coming up over and over again, there's a message there. It's not as easy as saying letting go of that sadness, because if the sadness is there, then I should explore why, and then I can do something with that. So when we move into this space of taking action, instead of just using the words, I'm going to let go of that, but doing something to help me let go of it. Because if I don't do the work, am I really letting go of it? It's like in the practice of forgiveness. The practice of forgiveness it falls into this whole lesson of letting go. Forgiving someone for something is all about me, right? It's not so much about them. But it's not so simple as for me to look at that person and say, I forgive you. If the words aren't filled with intention, if they're not coming from here, but they're coming from here because this is what I should say, instead of hurtfully saying, I do forgive you, there's a huge difference. So to get to that place, I have to do the work to understand, why am I forgiving this person? Am I just doing it for the benefit of doing it? Or am I doing it because I don't want to carry that darkness around inside of me anymore? Because I don't want to carry that hurt anymore. I want to transform it and change it. So it's so important to understand that in the practice of letting go, oftentimes it doesn't even matter what we're trying to let go of. It's to understand that the benefit of the practice of something like meditation is the practice of letting go. As I'm sitting in meditation and I'm focusing on my breath over and over and over again, I don't care who you are. At some point, your mind is going to take you away. And as soon as you start thinking about that thing, when I should be sitting here thinking about my breath, there's something I can let go of. Because there's a thought that has nothing to do with this moment when I am practicing meditation and I wanted to be, my intention was to focus on my breath. As soon as I started thinking about something like what I wanted for dinner, and I'm starting to plan out my menu or where I'm going to go eat, then all of a sudden, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be thinking about my breath. And I come to my breath, then I've let go of that thought. And that's a practice. But it's a practice that, am I really good at? I've been practicing it for a long time, but I still sit in meditation, and I could be sitting there and doing a really good job of focusing on my breath for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, I've solved all the world problems in my meditation. And all of a sudden, it's like, if only these people would do these things, if everybody just acted from a place of love, the whole world would be in a better place. But, oh, wait, I'm supposed to be thinking about my breath. Because I'm a problem solver. Focusing on my breath after a while gets a little bit boring. But with this practice of coming back and letting go of those thoughts, we become more confident. And when we practice letting go, that confidence allows us to be better at letting go. It's not easy to let go of our worries and our thoughts. It's not easy to let go of the pain that takes over our lives. It's so easy, and we're all guilty of getting stuck in focusing on that pain and the worries about the future or the regrets about the past. But so many times as we sit in meditation, we can start to begin to notice the truth. That those mistakes that happened in the past made me who I am. And if I didn't go through them, I'd be a different person. And if I don't like who I am, I have the ability to change. All the aspects of myself, when I come into the present moment, I can start peeling away those limitations. I can start removing myself from the stressed out, overthinking person that I used to be to a more thoughtful, compassionate person. So many times we get stuck worrying about our appearance or our material possessions or our social status. But as we learn to let these things go, we start recognizing how abundant our life is. We start appreciating who we are right now. When we start shifting, letting go of the expectations of who we think we should be or who we've defined ourselves as, then we can start seeing ourselves from a more truthful place, and we can start to appreciate ourselves more in the areas that really matter. Instead of trying to be somebody I'm not, how about I let myself be who I am? So let go of those labels, let go of those expectations, let go of that trying to be something I'm not, so I can lean into who I am. And that way, I can treat people better, because then I can start seeing them for who they are. So once we begin to see that the traits that really matter, we can start to be more confident in that, and we can feel that. And that becomes more essential to our growth and our transformation. The other thing we can focus on as we start to learn to let go of the things that don't matter or the things that we can't change is how it reduces the stress in our life. When the stress takes over, when we try to fit into this square peg hole when we're really a round peg, we start getting stress, and that stress takes over, and we begin to feel physically and mentally drained. And it reduces our opportunity to find a different answer, to lean into something different. When there's nothing we can do about this, then we should try to let it go. Turning back to that breath, focusing on the path we're on. There is no doubt that the human body will suffer when the mind is allowed to take over. There's no doubt that we're going to be moving through a life of pain and suffering when we allow ourselves to be stuck in the overthinking, over-worried, over-stressed mode. But when we start shifting to letting go, we can start enjoying the path that we're on, starting to enjoy the journey rather than focusing on the destination. And we start to feel calmer. So again, it's not easy, but it is a practice worth doing. Over and over again, letting go of things can shift our perspective. So when we tell each other, or we tell somebody to just accept it, to just let it go and move on, we have to come into understanding that to do that takes work. But we know that to let go is the only way we're going to grow. When we let go of the past hurts, because otherwise we're stuck in this cycle of blame and shame. But there's this innate nature in ourselves to resist change, because we get so stuck in this, this blame game. We get so stuck in just saying, I was right and this person was wrong. But if we stay in that space, we can never move forward. When we set an intention to do something, it's so important to understand the why. So why should I let go of this pain when this person really did hurt me? Or why should I let go of the feeling of sadness when I think about this person? It feels better for me to try to prove myself right. It feels better for me to share my offense, right? You offended me with your words, so I'm just going to hate you for the rest of my life, right? But when we can start leaning into the whys of letting go, and why letting go should be a practice, we can find the answers, because it comes back into this space. In all the years of teaching and coaching, it comes back to what's in it for me. And if somebody comes into my office, or somebody books a session with me, one of the first things I ask is why. Why do you want to quit smoking? Why do you want to find a new job? Why? And if it's not coming from their heart space, if it's based on something somebody else told them, then it's not in it for them, it's on somebody else. So if somebody comes to me and says they want to quit smoke, they have to quit smoking, and I ask them why, and they say, well, because my wife says if I don't quit smoking, blah, blah, blah. Now, there's good reason, because if you want to stay married, you might want to quit smoking, but we have to get to the true core of it. Why do you want to quit smoking? So when it comes to letting go, we have to understand why. Why? Well, you know what? So many times we have to understand that if we don't let go, we're wasting our time. Because it's a waste of time and effort to worry about the past, since the past has already happened. So let's stop worrying about it. Let's pick up the lessons we need to learn from to move forward, but understand that no amount of thinking and rethinking can ever change the past. We can't change the past. So let's practice letting go of worrying about it. And that helps us let go of the regrets. Because instead of seeing it as a regret, see it as a lesson. Letting go, understanding that when we hold on to the past, we let our self-limiting beliefs and those identifications of who we thought we should be strap us down. We get stuck in the hurt and the shame of not being the person we wanted to be or somebody thought we should be. So let's let go of that. Let go of the expectation so we can embrace who we are. And even if we don't like who we are, until we accept who we are, we can't change it. When we let go, we start creating some space to let things happen, to let things be the way they're supposed to be. And then we start noticing things from a different perspective. Instead of only focusing on what we thought we should be, we take off those blinders and we start seeing things differently. Instead of only looking at the path in front of me, I start noticing there are other paths I can take. So when we let go, we create some new space, but not only that space to walk a different path, but some space in our mind so that we're not stuck in that space of overthinking, over dramatizing, and we can allow ourselves to be more creative. Because the past destroys our ability to reflect and be real. Who are we really? If we're stuck in the past and we hold on to that past, it destroys our real identity. Letting go is an action that helps us focus on the things we can change for the better. Letting go allows us to breathe and see that we still have work to do. And letting go is the only way we can move forward into the next step in our life. Because otherwise, we're taking those 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. We move forward and we come back. And the keys that I've found in the practice of mindfulness and how we can use meditation as a tool to let go can't be understated, can't be overstated. I mean, the practice is so important, the practice of letting go. When our minds get stuck, it can be exhausting. But when we can shift our mind to something else, we can find that breath that fuels our tank, that fills us with energy. When we get stuck in the past, when we stop letting go, we repeat and repeat and repeat over and over and over again. So to refocus our thought, to refocus our attention from what's been going on outside of ourselves to our senses can help us be present in what's really happening now. So a big piece of that practice comes back to the practice of meditation. And that's why I have such a passion for it. So here we are, as I've been talking about letting go for a bit. I just want to meditate on that for a little bit. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, just find a comfortable position and just take a moment to relax. And if you're up to it, just close your eyes. Turn your attention to your breath and allow your awareness to connect to any sounds that you hear. The sound of my voice, the sound of the space around you, even the sounds outside. And just acknowledge those sounds and let them be. Know that they're there. And there's nothing you need to do to change them. Just let them be there. Now take a deep breath, breathing in slow through your nose, and as you let that breath out, use your imagination and imagine all the tension leaving your body. Breathing in and letting it out. Feeling your breath not just through your throat, but feel it all the way down into your tummy. And take another breath and let it out nice and slow and easy. And just let your breath fall into a pattern that nature intended it to. There's no need to force it now. Just be with it. And for just a few moments, let your awareness stay with your breath, and if your mind takes you away, come back to it without judging or wondering why or saying there's something wrong, I can't stay focused. Just come back to your breath. And notice how each breath feels cool on the inside of your nose. Notice how the air travels down your throat and into the lungs and fills your body. Notice how when you breathe out, the air feels warm. And any thoughts that come to your mind, just acknowledge them and let them go. And just be with your breath. And allow yourself to move into this space of letting go. Taking in exactly what you need and allowing your body to release what it no longer needs. That's what the breath does. So take what you need and let go of what you no longer need. And as you continue this practice, let go of any more stress that you're holding and let your shoulders soften. Let go of any tightness you might be holding in your jaw. Let go of any gripping in your hands. Let go and let the earth hold you. And I want you to open your mind and allow yourself to dig deep into this practice of letting go. And I want you to think of something, maybe a person or a situation or something that might have happened to you recently that doesn't serve you, that you don't want to carry forward with you. And just keep your awareness on this for a moment. Try not to hold back. As you think of this person or this thing or this feeling, allow yourself to feel every feeling or sensation that comes with that thought, even if they're not positive, knowing that nothing can harm you right now. If it brings up anger, let that anger come up. If it brings up sadness, let it come up. And then I want you to focus your attention back on your tummy and feel your body breathing. Breathe into that heart space. Breathe deep into your tummy and let yourself feel the peacefulness of your breath. And notice how all those feelings and thoughts start to disappear. And just feel how your body's breathing. And maybe in your mind you can imagine it was almost as if a pair of scissors came out and clipped the cord between you and that thing that was causing you pain and suffering. As if you've severed yourself from this. And just let it go. And imagine now you're free. And as you breathe into that heart space, imagine now you can send yourself a bit of love, a bit of blessing. And maybe you can even send those things to that person or that thing. And maybe you start to feel lighter and feel the energy of your breath still flowing. breathing into that heart space. Maybe your heart feels more at peace now. Maybe you can allow yourself to just surrender and feel how you've let go. And as you breathe into that heart space, maybe you can imagine it glowing and shining brighter and brighter as each breath allows you to feel more freedom, as you're letting go of those negative emotions, as you're letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. Allow yourself to get back into the nature of who you are. And just think for a moment, I let go. I let go. Just think for a moment, I am free. I am free. And then bring yourself back to your breath and feel your chest and your tummy rising and falling with every breath as you feel yourself at one with yourself, knowing that you've let go. Letting go is a practice. Forgiveness is a practice. It's a practice that's available to you with every breath. Because with every breath you breathe, your body gives you exactly what you need. With every breath you let go of, your body allows you an opportunity to let go of what you no longer need. So for just a moment, take a little deeper. And as you breathe in, think about what it is you need. And as you breathe out, think about anything else that you no longer need. So take what you need and let go. And realize you have all that you need right here with every breath that you take. Letting go is a practice. And now just feel your body breathing. And let yourself stay here for a moment. And just as we did in the beginning, if a thought comes up, see it, be aware of it, and breathe it out. Breathing in and out. This is the practice. And what you practice grows stronger. So recognize that you have all that you need as you go through the days ahead. When something comes up that doesn't serve you, take in a deep breath and just picture letting it go. Take a deep breath and feel the love and compassion that you have inside, and imagine the light of your heart cuts the cord of that energy of negativity and brings you peace. So you can focus on what truly matters and let go of the things that no longer matter. Letting go is a practice, and it's not easy. But with every breath you take, you have all that you need to succeed. And then once again, take in a nice deep breath. Let it out nice and slow and easy. And then when you're ready, gently open your eyes and see how present you are. Perhaps you feel a shift. Perhaps not. And that's why it's a practice. It's not perfect. But what you practice grows stronger. And in the practice of mindfulness and meditation, it's not this perfect climb. It's this boom, 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 boom. But with practice, it gets stronger. So the more you let go of, the more you practice you have of letting go of the things that are harder. So I appreciate you joining me on this lesson. and I'll see you next Wednesday.